Hi, this is Amy Walker, and welcome to the CEO Spot. Today, we are talking with Melinda Emerson about how to fix your failing business. So if your business is struggling, it's not where you want it to be, you feel like some things are falling apart at the seams, then this is the conversation you need to have in order to know how to fix your business and take it from just surviving and into really thriving, being amazing. So you're in a great place today. Melinda, we are so excited to have you on today. I have been a big fan of yours for years. You were somebody when I very first got started in my business that I was like, Melinda Emerson, she is the queen of small biz. So thank you so much for being on today.
Well, Amy, I am a big fan of yours as well. And I'm so happy to be back connected with you. This is great.
Yeah. I know it's been a couple years since, it seems like about every couple years we do something together. So it was time, it was due.
Definitely, definitely.
Okay, so Melinda, before we jump into our conversation about how to fix your business, I want to make sure that we give you a proper welcome and introduction. So Melinda Emerson is the small biz lady. She's America's #1 small business expert. She's been a thriving entrepreneur for nearly 20 years. She is internationally known. She's a keynote speaker. She's an expert on small business, on social media marketing. She has the Small Biz Chat, which has she's got over 3 million entrepreneurs that she reaches each week. And she was rated by Forbes magazine as the #1 entrepreneur to follow on Twitter, which is amazing. So here's what I personally love about Melinda. She knows her stuff and she is not afraid to tell you what you need to hear. And even you don't sugarcoat, Melinda, like you just go in, you're like, no, this is what needs to happen. This is how it goes. And I love people who know their stuff and are bold enough to really claim their space. So we're going to have a good, juicy conversation today. I'm excited.
I'm so happy to be here with you. And, listen, I consider myself the straight talk express of small business, right? I am not going to puff smoke under your dress. I'm going to tell you the real deal. And too many people out here, I think, have fantasies of grandeur about what it is to be your own boss. And I'm like, being your own boss is great, but there is definitely some upfront sacrifice involved in it. So please do not believe you have extra time or go on all these extra vacations in the early days. That's not how it works. And so I try to give people a realistic view of what this thing is we call small business ownership.
Well, and I really get frustrated. I feel like that our industry as coaches and experts, we're doing a disservice to the business owners when we create unrealistic expectations. I am not even joking. I had a conversation with a woman who said, I want to only work 4 hours a week and I want to build $1 million business. And I was like, I don't know how to do that.
That doggone book by Tim Ferriss has ruined more people. That 4-hour work week stuff is crap. And I've told Tim Ferriss this in his face. So listen, eventually, when you get all your processes, systems, and your team in place, maybe you can work 4 hours a week. But listen, I don't know and first of all, I've been an entrepreneur 20 years, and I still work way more than 4 hours a week. I might work 4 or 5 hours a day, but I'm definitely not working 4 hours a week, and I'm me. So I just think it is crazy, all these entrepreneurs and experts that are out here now. And I think I had a conversation with somebody about this earlier today. I think people are selling lifestyle. You want to live like me? Listen to me. You want to drive this kind of car? Listen to me. You want to have this kind of house and marry this beautiful lady? Follow me, friend me, buy my stuff. And I'm like, that is crap. If you're all you're doing your business for is money, you're going to be out of business quickly because it's too hard.
I just posted a rant about this on social media recently where all the ads that and because I am an entrepreneur, I get shown all the entrepreneurial ads.
Yeah.
All the ads are a picture of a car, they're a picture of a house, they're a picture of a vacation. That is the rewards of the business. But if you don't love the work, everybody wants those rewards. Everybody
Sure.
wants the house. Everybody wants the car. Everybody wants the vacation. But if you don't love the work and you're not willing to get in there and do the work and build the company, you're not going to get to those rewards. Or you could get there by having a job where you work for somebody else and you save your money. So I'm with you. I'm tired of the unrealistic expectations. Because if your business is struggling, which is our conversation today,
Sure.
it's going to take some work to turn the ship, but it can be done. And that's what I'm excited to share with them. So before we jump into that, how did you get started in entrepreneurship? What was the beginning of Melinda Emerson?
Well, I have to tell you, I had the idea that I wanted to start a business actually back when I was in college. But I was a journalism major undergrad. I was not in the business school. That was not where I thought my life was going. But then there was this woman, and you may have heard of her. Her name is Oprah Winfrey. And she was the first journalist I ever saw start a business. And literally, that was when the light bulb went on in my head going, oh, anybody can be an entrepreneur. Okay, let me think about that. And so I went on, got my degree in journalism, ended up getting an amazing job. You know, my second job in the business was in the #4 television market in the country. Like, I was 23 years old, making more money than my dad at the time, who was like, full grown adult. And what I realized at that time in my life was that you better be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it, right? And so I got my dream job. Amy, my dream job as a television producer was a nightmare. And I was like, I got to get out of here before I start acting like all these people around me, evil, backbiting, just, it was just a toxic environment. And I knew in my heart that I was meant to do more. And so I left. I literally had a laptop, a fax machine, and a dream. And I came home and I set up shop in the basement of my house. And that was 20 years ago. And I am grateful to say I've never missed a mortgage payment. I've never missed a car payment. And God has blessed me to have a brand that reaches 3 million entrepreneurs a week online. But let me tell you something. I worked for 2 years. 10 years ago, I turned my business into training and coaching entrepreneurs. And literally for 2 years, I worked Twitter like a job. And that is how I built the brand, the Small Biz Lady brand that you know today. But I tell people all the time, how many of you are willing to work 2 years at something and work it hard and not make any money from it? Because that's what it took. And people see me now, people see me, speaking here, flying to Europe and, speaking in Singapore and all this stuff. And they're like, wow, I want to be like you. Well, no, you don't know what it took to be like me. And so I'm glad to have this platform to tell people, I'm so grateful to have a platform to tell people, because listen, there is so much upfront work involved in this thing we call infopreneurship, or, training and coaching entrepreneurs. And I also think when it comes to working with people who are coaching you in your business, the number one thing you got to make sure is that that person has gone farther than you want to go. Because if you're coaching, if you're getting coaching from somebody who hasn't paid payroll, who hasn't had employees, who hasn't done business with corporate America, why in the world are you listening to that person? And so I like to tell people, you better be careful about who you're taking advice from, because they might not be any further than you. And so for me, whenever I think about a business that is failing, when somebody comes to me and tells me, Melinda, my business is in trouble and I need to turn things around, what I first tell them is, are you really prepared to fix your business? Because I don't believe you don't know what's wrong with your business. I believe you haven't made the decision that you're tired of dealing with it yet. So that troublesome employee that that's antagonizing everybody else and doing half-baked work in your business, you're tolerating that person because you don't want to fire them. You don't want to go through the hassle of, putting out another job description, getting a new employee, training them. You don't want to deal with that. So you deal with this toxic, poisonous individual that you're paying good money out to that's not delivering. Or that slow paying customer that's a constant calling pain in a butt, and you need to fire them as a customer, but you're scared. to fire them. So you tolerate them calling you all times of the day and night, and then paying you slow, and then constantly beating you up on price. You know, these are the things we are tolerating in our business because we don't have the courage to fix it. So the first thing you've got to do is decide, okay, enough. It is 2019. I'm going to live differently in my business. I'm going to build a business that doesn't stress me out every day. So if you're ready to make
I call this the law of equal effort. And I see this a lot in friends' businesses and in clients where they're spending a ton of effort because they are unwilling to spend the effort over here. I'm spending a ton of time managing drama in the office because I'm unwilling to enforce policies of no drama zone, right?
Exactly.
It's a lot of equal effort. You're going to spend the effort one way or another, but you get to choose. Are you going to put it on the proactive side of proactively taking care of problems? Or are you going to be reacting to all the problems because you didn't do it over there?
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. It starts with preparation. Once you get through preparation, then I want you to realign your purpose. And what I want you to do is think about, why did you start your business? And then I want you to think about, why should you still be running it? Because the reasons why you started it versus the reason why you still should be running it might not be the same reason. And so you got to have a real honest conversation with yourself. Is this my dream, or am I doing this because it was the family's business and I feel obligated to keep doing it? Do you still love it?
Yeah.
It is okay to sell a business. It is okay to find your dream. And so you really got to get clear about, why are you doing it? Is it because you don't know how to do anything else? What is it? Right? And then once you make that decision, once you get clear about that, the next thing I want you to look at is your people, because your business can only grow as far as these two hands unless you got you some help, right? But you got to get the right help. So your cousin that needs a job, that's not the right person. Give them a check, not a job, right? So I want you to think about how many doers you have in your business versus thinkers. Because you got to have some people in your business thinking about how your business makes money other than you. It's fine to have doers, because doers like, will you do this for me? Will you do that for me? You need one or two of them kind of people too. But you really need someone else in your business that's about the money. Like, if you're out doing something else, is your business still making money? Probably not, if you have not empowered anybody else to be working on money issues in your business. So you've got to think about your team and your next level team, because you have an initial team. You know, you buy what you can afford at first. But when you're really ready to put your foot on the gas, that's when you got to get a next level team. And it's hard to get, there's a war out here for talent, even among small businesses. So it's hard to get the right team, but you got to focus on team. Then after you focus on your people, the next thing I want you to think about is your profits, your profitability. Are you chasing the wrong piece of business? Are you chasing your most profitable business? Are you chasing and keeping in touch with your most profitable customers, right? I see so many people out here chasing new business as opposed to nurturing existing customers who already love you, right? So I want you to focus on your profits. I want you to make sure you're able to take any form of currency, digital payments, electronic funds transfer, cash, whatever. But I want you to make sure that you're in the right position to track the profit. And one of the great things about my new book, Fix Your Business, is I interview a guest expert at the end of every chapter. And in my profit chapter, I interviewed Mike McAllowitz, and he wrote this book called Profit First. And he believes—
I love that book. He is a rock star.
Yes, he is. And I actually went to college with Mike. I've known him a lot of years. And so I tell people, you also need to have a profit account, because too many of us are skipping paychecks and robbing ourselves whenever our business needs money. Your business needs to survive paying you a paycheck too. And so he talks a little bit about that in my book, and certainly in his. And so I want you to think about your profit and what's going on with profit in your business. The next thing I need you to do is look at your processes. How are you going to—
I'm going to pause you on that one for 1 sec. Let's bring that back, because I've seen many businesses where they actually have enough to be able to survive. They are just mismanaging their funds, right? Like, they just straight up are not managing where the money's going. They're overspending. Their business should be operating on maybe $100,000 a year, and they've got $200,000 of operation costs. And so that's where the problem comes from. So before, obviously you have to go through that process of thinking, is this really still where I want to be? But before you move forward to anything else, you've got to analyze your expenses and your profits. And Mike's book, that should be required reading before anyone will issue you an EIN number. That's how I feel about it. Before you get an EIN number, you need to read that book so you can set yourself up to win in the very beginning.
I completely agree. And I just think that you're right. You do have to look at your expenses and your profits. But here's the other thing too. Are you using your accountant like a business advisor, or are you just calling him at tax time? Right? You need to be looking at financial statements every month so that you know how well you did last month, to see where you need to adjust, what's going on, how are you burning through cash, do you know what your monthly burn rate is? Like, there's all this stuff out here that you need to keep your finger on so that you don't look up and you're out of cash. Because if you're out of cash, you will be out of business. And that is serious,
and
serious
stressed stuff to the max when you're out of cash.
Absolutely.
Not fun.
And that's not how you want to be if you want to have a successful business. And then once you get your handle on the money, then it's time to look at your processes. Because if you're walking around with how your business runs in your head, you will be out of business very quickly. So you will stress yourself out. You will overwork. You will burn yourself out. So document your signature processes so that you can, number one, know what you need to do to train new people coming in so that they do it your way. And two, you can look at your processes to see what you can automate. What are the routine things that you do in your business every month, every quarter, every year, so that you can move some of that stuff out? Should you be entering your own data into QuickBooks? No, not unless you are an accountant, right? You know, those are things you can.
No, even the accountants don't do it. Even the accountants have a bookkeeper that does that, right? So unless you are a bookkeeper, you shouldn't be doing it.
Exactly. So again, these are some of the things you need to be looking at in terms of things that need to happen that you don't need to be doing. Because if you could pay somebody $20 or $30 an hour and your time is billable at $150 an hour, how much did you just pay yourself to do it? Right. Not a good use of funds or your time. So you want to make sure that you're always focused on your most high valued activity. And so that brings me to the next peak, productivity. There's an app for that. You know, like, you don't have to be manually doing stuff in your business. Your phone can help short circuit a lot of stuff, whether it's payroll, whether it's invoicing, whether it's email marketing. There's all kinds of stuff, marketing automation, CRM, all kinds of stuff that you need to be using technology for to save you time, save you money. And so that is something that I want to have everybody think about. And if they go to fixyourbusiness.com, I've got a list of all the apps and software that I like for various phases you are in business. Because I know the problem now is there's so many apps, you're like, oi, which one should I choose? So I've made you a list of the ones I like, and I've used a lot of them. So I have some experience about which ones make sense. And then once I want you to look at your productivity, the next thing I want you to look at is your performance. How are you measuring what's happening in your business? Matter of fact, let me go further, Amy. Are you measuring anything in your business? Do you know what your cost per lead is, cost per sale is? Do you know what your email open rate is? When's the last time you looked at your Google Analytics? Do you know which social media site is actually sending traffic to your website, like actually helping you make money? Or are you out here doing 5 different social media sites for no reason, right? No. So I want you to look at the stuff, you know, so that, you know, if nobody's opening your emails, it's time to think about your taglines, your subject lines, and what you're talking about. Are you just selling, or are you actually educating and helping your audience? If you're not, they're not going to open your crap, right? You know, so you've got to look at stuff and what's going on in your business. And then once you do that, I want you to look at your presence. I want you to look at your online presence. When's the last time you updated your logo if you've been in business for a while? Do you have a professional logo, or is it just like some word art? Like, what is it, you know? And then let's look at your website. Your website is your #1 sales tool. So if you invest money anywhere, invest it in your welcome mat. That's how you welcome people into your business. So you want to make sure that your website is up to snuff. You want to make sure that it loads quickly. You want to make sure that you're not giving people too many options to do too much stuff. You want to direct what you want them to do when they get to your website. So your website is super duper important. And then make sure that your social media profiles tell people how to hire you. I appreciate that you're a swim dad or a Steelers fan. None of that's going to help me hire you. So make sure you know what your keywords are, and that your picture and your logo is consistent on all of your platforms, so that I know what you're about, the second I interact with you in your business.
I love it. So much good information here. One of the things that I do want to say is I think you need to have realistic expectations. When I work with businesses who are struggling, the first phase is triage. It is stopping the bleeding. The first phase is not a whole bunch of cash flowing through. And so you need to understand that when you're fixing a failing business, you go through a phase where you do a lot of work just to stop the atrophy. And then from there is where you then start to create a lot of growth. And so you've got to, which is why that step where you look in at your purpose and is this still your passion is so important, because you're going to go through some hard work and you're going to have to see a lot of things about yourself that you don't want to see. Like, you know what? I stepped out in the leadership role, or I didn't adjust with the times, or, you know, you'll see all of those things about yourself that you maybe didn't want to look at for a while. But here's what I will tell you. You can have the business that you love be a business that's producing. You've just got to be willing to go through the process. So Melinda, what is the best way for our viewers to connect with you if they want to learn more?
Well, I am the small biz lady everywhere online, and you can always connect to me on my blog, which is succeedasYourOwnBoss.com. And if you want to learn more about my 12 P's, check out my new book, Fix Your Business. You can get it anywhere books are sold, so check it out. So I go through all 12 of my P's. You only got 7, so y'all want to make sure you get the rest of them. And
gotta get the rest of them.
Yep. And then every Wednesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern, I do a small biz chat. And so I give out quality information. You can come and ask your questions, hang out with us. So every Wednesday night on Twitter from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern, we answer people's small business questions. So come on and hang out with us.
Awesome. Melinda, I'm always a fan. Thank you so much for being on with us. And just, I appreciate your honesty and the reality and the substance behind what you give. So go get the book, go check her out. Join the Twitter chats. They're a lot of fun. They move fast and you get so much information coming at you. They're a lot of fun. And for those of you who are watching, here's your next assignment. Give us a comment. Tell us what you liked. Tell us if there's something that you want us to talk about in the future. Like the video if you liked it, and please subscribe to the channel because we've got so much great content that's coming your way. So if you haven't done it yet, join us in the CEO Spot on Facebook. It's our private Facebook community where you can continue the conversation with like-minded entrepreneurs. Thank you all so much for being here. And I just, with this particular topic, I want to leave you with words of encouragement. Just because your business is struggling does not mean that you are a terrible leader. You are a great leader. And the fact that you're willing to watch this video and you're willing to go and search for the answers and connect with people who have those answers for you, you're going to make it if you'll just do the work. So I believe in you. Melinda, you believe in them, don't you?
Absolutely. If nobody else does, me and Amy got your back.
Yeah, we're here for you. So we believe in you. And I wish you all the best. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks, everyone.